All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How's that?
Perfect. Thank you.
Beautiful.
All right. So this is the Autohaus podcast. I'm here in Anaheim, California, with the one and only. I'm so starstruck right now.
You're
I don't know
too
if you
kind.
can hear the nervousness in my voice. Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Bisi Ezerioha. I'm the owner, founder, and chief engineer at Bisimoto Engineering in Ontario, California.
So, BZ, I just want to give you some history. Like I've followed you like since the print days when I was in elementary school.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, back. I know you've talked about it. I listened to all the Tech Tuesdays.
Oh, thank you so much.
Back you talked about like you had bleach tips.
Yeah.
Way back in the
I had
day.
a fro and blonde hair. I've had it all. I've done crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
and like I've always really admired that like you having like a passion for building like NA power right
Yes.
out of your engines.
Of course.
Yeah. So something different instead of talking about technical topics, because I'm just starting my own small business.
Okay, well
I'd-
done.
I'd really like to talk more about like the business side of things.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So one biggest thing that I've seen Bisimoto like persevere is like you've weathered like how many storms.
Yes, quite a few.
Yeah, can you like name some of like some major storms through
Oh,
like
yeah.
the decades that you've weathered?
Absolutely. Now, what's interesting is that for many years, first, I'm not from here.
Yeah.
As you can tell from my strange accent, I'm from Nigeria,
Yes.
West Africa. Came to the United States the late 80s with 2 suitcases by myself. And I'm just one of those weird people that did a lot of things young, meaning I was studying engineering at the age of 15 in my country. I skipped a bunch of grades and got to university very young, but didn't learn much in Africa, so I came here to the United States to start afresh. Well, I come from a family of scientists. So both my parents, my mom's a crazy, brilliant biochemist. So I find intelligent women fascinating. I love intelligent women. Anyway, and my father's a geologist, and I became a petrochemical engineer. So even though I do a lot of things automotive today, I'm really a chemical engineer. That's really what I am. Very interesting. But long story short, I did not come from a very strong enterprising family. I did not. I come from a family of geeks, as they say in America. But despite that, my parents owned a cosmetics factory. So they did instill and that's because my mom, she's a brilliant chemist. She really is. So she comes up with formulations and all kind of cool stuff. I'm nothing compared to her. I mean it. But the biggest influence on me in business here in the United States has been my partner, my wife, Hedy. Her parents are strict, very hardcore. How should I say this? Enterprising people. They're big on creating businesses, driving businesses, and so on and so forth. So she comes from a family that's very business savvy, and I come from a family that's very technologically savvy. With her push, when we were just boyfriend-girlfriend, she pushed me to start my own business in 2006. After many years of racing and developing products for my own car, and people buying them from me on the side while I worked in corporate America. Initially, I was, how should I say, I was like a lab scientist, a research scientist, and then went to sales and did extremely well still in the pharmaceutical sector. Unfortunately for me, I started my business in 2006 before the economic downturn. So that was the big first storm I had to weather. Imagine being in your 20s, making 6 figures, going from that to 0. Imagine that. That's what happened to me. But I had the belief and with the push of someone who loved me very much that I can do this, I did it. But it was terrifying. And I did it right before the US went through a very challenging economic time where what I did was motorsports based. And motorsports it's not a necessity, it's a luxury. It was tough. But because I stayed persistent and focused, I survived. I actually thrived and grew in a recession.
Can you go over like some strategies that
Yes.
you used that helped you thrive
Absolutely.
during the economic
Yes.
downturn where everyone else was retracting, right?
Relevance.
Yeah. Relevance.
Yes.
Okay.
Keeping myself relevant by doing things that other people wouldn't do.
Can you name some specifics?
Yeah. So I don't know if you said you followed me for quite a while.
Yes.
While people were doing in the Honda world B series swaps, I stayed with a D series, which is a cost-effective way to still have a lot of fun without breaking the bank. And then the next step I did was going to an F series Accord,
Yes.
an engine where people felt that it was rubbish, that you couldn't make any power. So as a proof of concept, I designed components for that and created an opportunity where others wouldn't look. I created niches. I went to markets where people wouldn't even pay attention, but there was a strong opportunity and created a market from nothing. That allowed me to stay relevant and to do well. That focus and looking for, you look across the landscape of motorsports and you see that blip where a need is not met, I went after that need. While everyone else was focusing on engines that everyone wanted to work on, I looked at an engine where there were so many people who had them and they had no saviors. And I became the savior. That's what I did. And allowed people to come to me. I was the only game in town. If you wanted to modify your F22 Accord or D Series, you had to come to me. So imagine in a country full of millions of people, even in a market that's downtrodden, they had to come to me. And that's what I did. Now, of course, as things got better, people noticed, oh, shoot, Bisi's making money there. And a lot of people jumped into it.
Yes.
But that's when I kept expanding and I kept trying things that are different. Relevance is very, very key.
Relevance. Any other strategies that you used?
Oh, let me see. I had to be very austere. And what I mean by that is I couldn't splurge. You know how you have to pay or invest heavily in media?
Yes.
By creating vehicles that are unique and doing projects that are not very commonplace, you're attracted the media to them, to yourselves. So by me creating these strange projects, not only did I go after niches that didn't exist, I attracted media to me to where I had almost, dare I say, free advertising because I was so different. They had to cover me because when you cover me, people pay attention and they help the magazines attract other, as challenging as it was, other advertisers. So I was a hot game in town and I took advantage of that by continuing to do things that were unique.
I totally agree. Like back in the day of print, every like tuner shootout, Bisimoto was in every
I was
single
in every,
one. Yeah, every single magazine.
I could race. I wouldn't even win, and I got coverage because
Exactly.
I was very unique. I was this weird African kid with blonde hair, with a single cam, and also pretty fast, and people wanted to know about me. And they paid attention, and it worked extremely well.
The decline of print, how has that affected you?
Well, it's like anything. It's almost like asking me decades ago, decline of radio, how's that affecting you? You have to change with the times. You know, the key to everything we do is attention. It really is. Without attention, you wouldn't be talking to me here today.
Exactly.
Without attention, I wouldn't be invited to this event. Without attention, I wouldn't be able to gather the resources I have today with a lot of my partners. Attention is the name of the game. So if you look at today's consumer, where do they spend most of their time?
On social.
That's where you have to be. Print was great. I grew up in the era of print, but people don't buy magazines. I have magazines in my office, in my waiting room. They're in the same spot I left it 2 weeks ago. People don't even read it. When people come to sit in my waiting room, they're on their phone.
Yeah.
So if I want to reach those people, if I want to get their attention, what do? I have to do things that are creative, exciting, and get to them through that new medium. Print, digital, social, they're all forms of trying to capture people's attention. And you have to do what you have to do. And for the individuals that I attract, for the market that I look forward to, that's where I have to pay attention to, and that's what I do. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you. So besides the Tech Tuesday podcast and the YouTube channel, what other forms of social are you
That's
are you
a great
using?
question.
Yeah.
I love Instagram, and just to give you a little bit of a backgrounder, my Tech Tuesday is something I do to give back.
Oh, yeah.
You notice I don't sell anything there. I don't tell people, buy this from me. I do not. I give information for free. I do.
You answer every single question too.
I do. I answer every question in earnest, and if I don't know the answer, I'm not God. I don't know everything, but if I don't, I tell them, that's a great question. I don't have that answer. I can find out for you and let you know this time, or I don't have access to that information. I'm trying to be that person I needed growing up. That's all I'm doing. I encourage people to do that. There's a gentleman by the name of John Concialdi, who is the founder of AEM.
Yes.
And I'm with AEM here today. That's how crazy that is. And John took me under his wing when I was still an engineering student, and he was already an established engineer. And even though he's a business owner, he couldn't help me as much as he could, but he helped me a little bit, and I appreciate that. If I had a BC growing up, I'd be much further than I am today. And you don't know what someone's going through. The little things I share with people, the little answers I give them, whether it's about technology or life, you have no idea how much it can help someone. So I'm just giving back. That's really what I'm doing. To be honest with you, I owe this country so much. really, America is the place where you can be the best of yourself. You could also ruin yourself. I mean, I'm here, I meet wonderful people like you guys, but I could also meet very bad people. Be the best you can be. Take advantage of everything you have here. I know how hard it is from, I don't know where you guys are from, but where I'm from, there are people who kill to be here. And the fact that I'm here, I want to be able to do great things and help and leave a legacy that can make people's lives better. And that's what I'm about. I hope that answers your question properly.
No, yes, it does. Thank you. Doris, did you have any questions?
What questions do you have, Doris?
Yeah. Doris is here from Annex Suspension Group, and I totally owe Doris for setting up this meeting. So definitely, Doris, if you have any questions, please. Doris is in the same boat. Doris left her life growing up in Hong Kong.
I understand.
Yeah.
Right. Any questions? Anything at all?
Even for Annex Suspension, growing the company, or what moves you need to make to stay relevant, or stay persevere.
I can tell you one thing: starting a new company is not a walk in the park. You will have challenges. So many people give up. Don't give up. It's gonna be tough. There are people who will challenge you. There are competitors who would even take your product and misrepresent you.
Right.
Don't let it. You stay focused and persevere. You can do wonders. Just seeing the energy and enthusiasm you have, you can be very successful. You really can.
Thank you.
Don't give up. There are times I've given. So people ask, the biggest question I get in this show today is, your minivan, where's your minivan? That minivan almost killed me building it. It's just, I had 7 weeks to build a 1,000 horsepower minivan from factory to a fully built setup. It was the most challenging, and at the time, the most expensive build I ever did with American Honda. But fast forward to today, it's the most popular build. It doesn't matter what I've done. All people know it's your 1,000 horsepower minivan. It's been on so many television shows, Top Gear,
Hot
Car
Wheels.
Matchmaker. They made a Hot Wheel of
Yep.
it. We just did a show last week with Jay Leno with it. It's amazing, crazy stuff. So how did that happen? Perseverance and staying focused. I want to give up so many times, but if you focus on the end goal, it's not as painful. If you focus on what you want at the end, it's a beautiful thing. So as you grow your business, never give up. Stay at it, focus. You asked a question earlier on about, some of the things that allowed me to stay successful. I was very austere is what I was going to mention, and I couldn't splurge. I had to be very careful with my money and how I spent it and where I spent it. Hired the right people, and if the person's not the right person for my team, let them go. I've let people go that may have been talented, but they weren't a good fit with the rest of the team because they were very mean. Or one gentleman who's a wonderful fabricator, very talented, made my assistant cry. And I don't need that so that's bad energy in the team. And my team, I've had this since I was in corporate. They don't work for me. The people I hire don't work for me. I work for them. It's my job to remove all the obstacles in the way to allow them to be successful, so that I in turn can be successful. And we're like a family, and we, as long as you keep people involved and you understand what's important to them. Money's not important to everyone. Some people just want to be happy. Some people just want to go out. Some people just want to hang out with BC. Some people want to be part of the team. Some people want to create. Find out what's important to them and provide that for them as you work for them, and things can be wonderful. So focus, persistence is what you have to do. My pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure.
One thing
Yes.
that I really respect about you is, lately you've transitioned to higher dollar cars, right? So obviously Porsche. But the biggest thing,
Yes.
you haven't forgotten your core audience.
Of course not.
The Honda guys still love you,
It's amazing you say it. I'm laughing because one of the things that I love about the gentleman I just mentioned before, Jay Leno, is that the guy really loves cars, and you go to his garage, he has everything from a Ford Fiesta to a beautiful Rolls Royce, a classic Rolls Royce. He has it all.
And F1.
Yeah, he has P1. You name it, he's amazing. And then he drove everything from my Porsches to my Civic. So I love technology and I love cars. I am not brand specific. The Porsche stuff came because, believe it or not, my Honda guys, I had a Honda customer who road races Honda, loved what I did with it, and he also drove Porsches daily. And he said, BC, you need to work on Porsches. I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I did it. And then fast forward to today, we're doing stuff with Aston Martin, we're doing stuff with Acura, with Mazda. We have all these brands that we're doing stuff with. We're constantly reinventing ourselves. Even today, I had a call with Waymo.
What is Waymo?
Waymo is the autonomous program for Google.
Wow.
So they're into EVs, autonomous vehicles. John Krafshek and I had a call at 4:30 today, and we'll be working doing some things together. So that's the kind. It's just I love transportation vehicles. I love cars. I love going fast. I love speed. I love technology. It doesn't matter if it's a Porsche, Lambo, Ferrari, or a Civic or a Hyundai. I work with all of them.
I was going to say factory support from Hyundai right now.
Yes, we do a lot with Hyundai, quite a
Yeah.
bit. We're building this year a new Veloster N and also a alternative fuel vehicle, hydrogen vehicle with them as well.
Wow.
Last year we did a hypermile hybrid where we took it from 48 miles per gallon and got to 83 and gave them the technology. I love science. It's just our thing.
So going back to my first question.
Yes.
What have you done that allowed you to like stay true to like your core audience? Like even though how big Bisimoto has
Great
grown.
question.
Yeah, you haven't forgotten about everyone that's
It's
helped in the beginning. You know.
Being myself. It's me. My wife makes fun of me, but if you go home to our village where I'm from, you get up in the morning, you go and you greet your neighbors, you greet your family, you greet everyone. It's who I am. It's not make believe. It's not fake. It's not me doing this to try and get people to think that it's me. What you see is what you get. It's just me being true to myself. That's why. And organically, it just happens that way where we keep getting relationships with American Honda and Acura and my core audience, and people still love what I do. And there are people who may not, but now we're more popular than ever and people even love what we do even more than ever. It's just being myself. There's nothing better than being true. Nothing better.
Definitely, I totally agree.
Thank you.
Doris, do you have any questions?
What questions may you have,
Yeah.
if any?
I have a lot of questions for you.
Oh, then come on.
Ask- ask-
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
Doris,
here.
ask away, please.
This is so awkward.
Oh, sorry guys, we're recording. Sorry, we're doing a show. Okay, thank you. No, cheers.
Here, do your podcast
No.
first. Do your podcast first.
Oh man.
It's like I don't want to ruin this. Cause
No, it's not
No.
running. This
no,
one
no,
bit.
no.
Okay.
This is like Zico's room to interview you. Like this is his. Like he was like, I'm like getting so emotional. I don't know what to do. So I want this to be his experience.
Okay, Doris.
I have to follow.
Whatever you desire. There you go. She has my dark number. Okay.
So, maybe being more specific to my business right
Okay.
now. So, I describe my business as media company first and then repair facility second.
Very clever.
Yeah. So, I would like to solely focus on enthusiast vehicles.
Okay.
I know that's not always going to be sustainable to pay the bills, right?
It depends. But carry on.
But so my idea is to take a low volume of enthusiast vehicles, but use the media work, such as like the podcast or like YouTube, and somehow monetize the media work.
I see.
yeah.
I see.
So, knowing like my idea for the business, do you have any suggestions for me?
You have to be out there.
Okay.
You're not gonna sleep much. But that's the price we pay. One thing about success is that you do what others won't do so that you can have later on what they would never have.
Yeah.
Period. Okay? So that being said, it's gonna take a lot of work. You're gonna have to grind. You're going to have to. And what I mean by that is even at any level, like you're at this event, you have to go to events. You have to make sure that people who know who you are, you have to, introduce yourself to people, go to events as much as you can. Go where enthusiasts are. Join the Facebook pages where they're there. Go on create opportunities where people can be attracted to you. Interview people who are influential. Do whatever you can to get more eyes on you. It's not easy. And then when you get content, you have to take it and produce it and dissect it and edit it and do. You have to. It's just what you have to do. It's a very worthwhile. You know what? You know what today's currency is more than anything else? It's popularity. And whether you're selling handbags or you're trying to sell automotive parts or services, it's what you have to do. You have to make sure that you're out there relevant. So there's no easy way. There's no shortcuts. You just have to put in the work. And if you do that, it's like clockwork. And from what I see, Zico, it's interactive. You actually enjoy this. So the fact you enjoy it makes it easier. It doesn't feel like work, but you are working, but it doesn't feel like work. And that's what you want. You want to be able to take your passion and monetize it. But you can't slack because the hour that you're not doing it, someone else is doing it.
Exactly.
And that creates opportunity that can be taken away from you.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a while to take in.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
I'm about to
no,
share.
No, that was like a big like knowledge bomb on me. But,
No worries.
I totally appreciate
My
it.
pleasure. My
Yeah.
pleasure indeed. I am just to give you some insight. I am nowhere near where I need to be. I swear, I'm nowhere near. Yes, I've been fortunate enough to accomplish a lot here in the U.S., but the best is yet to come. Even this year, I don't know if you guys will come to SEMA. If you're going to be at SEMA this year, wait till you see what I show. It's like people want to freak out. Like I have, and it's and even that people are like, are you drop? Even today, I gave a little hint to one of my partners because I have a good relationship with Toyo. So I give a little hint. He's like, are you going to just drop the mic after that? I'm like, no, I haven't even started. There's so much more to happen, so much opportunity. And that's what you have to do. You have to keep grinding. I'm nowhere near. It never stops. And I enjoy it. I'm having a great time in my life. I get to meet you guys. I have a wonderful family. I can't complain. Yeah.
I can't help you. It's your podcast. Do it. Ezekiel is very. He's very nervous.
Don't be.
Around people that he-
I'm a guy who, I came from a great family and I love people and I love technology and I'm just here to help. And you see how I am. I mean, I'm not one of those guys like, oh no, what are you gonna pay? I'm not. I just want to. This is me. This is me.
So that reminded me.
Yes.
Like talking about some of my weaknesses like this. I spent my life as a dealer technician.
Okay.
So I did my apprenticeship with Mercedes-Benz.
Understood.
And then I was a Subaru technician for quite a while.
Very nice.
And so because I've lived that like solitary technician life, this kind of stuff, this kind of media work where I have to like actively like put myself out there, that's definitely something I've had to work on and try to grow myself in this area.
And that's fantastic. That's what you need to do. You know, we have a saying back home. I don't know how it translates well in English, but like a flower bud doesn't open until it's painful. It's so painful it cannot stay that way. For you to grow, you have to stretch yourself. You mentioned before, Bisi, you expanded into exotic higher-end cars, Porsches. I'll tell you a story about that. The blue Porsche that has the turbos in the back that everyone loves so much is the first Porsche I ever built and the first Porsche engine I ever touched. And even my own partners, even my friends from AEM, told me, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. Don't touch that. I was with Falcon then. The head of marketing for Falcon's like, you're a Honda guy. Don't ever. And these are people I respect and admire. It's like me telling you, don't do that. And you respect and admire me so much. I had people in that position telling me, don't touch Porsche. Stay with Honda. You don't know what you're doing. You're an African guy with a name that sounds Japanese, Bisimoto, and you're trying to do Porsches. They're not going to accept you. Look today. We have people from factory Porsche we work with.
Yes.
I've been in video games representing Porsche. I have Hot Wheels. Look at where I am today. It's like people know me. Some people know me only about Porsches, So imagine if I listened. That challenge of pushing myself to build my first Porsche engine, and now I'm known in that community to take a chassis that I never even knew anything about, and I was terrified. What if I break this? Oh my God, how much is the engine? But I persevered. It paid off for me. You have to challenge yourself. That's the only way you grow. If you stay complacent, if you stay comfortable, if you stay a Subaru technician or with Mercedes-Benz, you will never grow.
Yeah.
This is what you have to do. And it's a beautiful journey. It's tough, but when you reap the benefits and you realize your success, there's no better feeling in your heart. I know how amazing it is to have something on paper and bring it to fruition. Even that wagon you saw in the booth, that was a conversation I was having with my friend, just like how we're having now. He's like, it'd be cool. I'm like, yeah, that's good. Let's do it. And look, I'm driving it. To take something from concept to reality is a beautiful journey.
I think that's a lesson in perseverance also, because you kind of, unfairly took a loss with the minivan on that show.
And it was actually a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you one thing about that show that we had on Netflix. For those of you tuning in who you're not familiar with it, the show we did on Netflix, Fastest Car, you can take a look at it. And we were approached to provide a sleeper vehicle. And I built a very interesting car for American Hyundai. And it was a rear-wheel drive converted, something on paper that we created, rear-wheel drive, Santa Fe that make the 1100 horsepower, right? That's what I submitted for the show because people haven't seen, it's a Hyundai, perfect sleeper, right? It's an SUV, perfect sleeper. We converted to rear-wheel drive, so it's gonna really go fast and hook up. And when the production company came over, they saw it like, oh, what is that over there? Oh, it's an Odyssey minivan. A minivan, how much power? 1029. We want that. I'm like, well, it's not a very good race vehicle for drag racing because it makes a lot of power and it's a front wheel drive. And we were supposed to run street tires? Oh yeah, but this would be great for show. So being a reality show, it was great for show. It was great for television. I knew it wouldn't do well. I knew it wouldn't. But there were competitors there who actually cheated on the show and did okay. And we obviously took a pretty bad loss. If you look at the race when we raced, I just laid rubber. I just spun every gear. So I didn't go much of any place. So, but based upon that show, and since we were such a great hit on the show, the team asked us, what could you bring back for us? I said, you know what? I'll build something for you. I'll build something for your next season. And that's that wagon van that exists over there.
Yeah.
That was a car that we built. So we built this wagon that's half the weight of the Odyssey, same power potential. It's at 772, but it can make the same 1,000 as the other one. And it's all-wheel drive. So I won't have that same problem I had with losing traction like we did before. And it looks very sleek because it's blue and we put the hood on, it doesn't look like much of anything. So in essence, it was a blessing in disguise. I don't see any loss as a failure. I see it as an opportunity to learn. And that's how I feel that everyone should see that. We did well in the show in terms of exposure. It didn't fare very well on the track, but it allowed me the opportunity to use creativity to create a newer chassis that would even do better on the show and create even more awareness for myself and my brand. Awesome. So it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Going back to what you said about your sponsors and
then
maybe like people you looked up to telling you that you shouldn't be doing Porsche.
Yes.
How did you in essence like know to like follow like what your heart said or like
I
not to
didn't know.
listen to them?
You know, I mentioned in this interaction today persistence. I'm a very persistent person. I wouldn't say stubborn, but persistent. I love challenges and I want to figure it out. And I wouldn't say I'm the kind of person who wanted to prove them wrong because that wasn't my goal, but I knew it was the right thing in my heart. In business, in life, especially when you feel you're doing the right thing, many times you could have people more closer than sponsors. You can have family saying, don't do that, it's not gonna be good. I tell you one thing, if my parents sent me, my parents sent me here to America hoping that I'll become this wonderful, crazy engineer and probably go back home and help them with the cosmetics factory. I'm in cars. I'm not even doing anything that has to do with cosmetics. But you know what? My dad, I hid it from him a long time. My father would visit America. I never told him I raced, never showed him any of my magazines until I had enough and said, Father, here's what I'm doing. And my goal is to be able to do this later on in life. And he's like, my son, I can respect that. But if I told him earlier on, he wouldn't be supportive. And that's not what they wanted from me. They wanted me to come here, go to school, go back to Africa. Feeling the need to accomplish something and having that focus on it, it doesn't matter who tells me. It could be my mother, my wife, my daughter, my friends, my sponsors, and it's happened, and I just stay on path. And if I fail, it was experience. But if I do well, it's a great blessing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I think that was the biggest bomb that just got dropped.
No worries.
Okay. We're at half an hour. I definitely don't want to take too much of your time.
I appreciate that.
I want to thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Man, like I said again, telling Doris, like I was like, man, I'm gonna get emotional on the way over here. Like, you know, like following you all the way from print and then like all the way to today, like listening every Tech Tuesdays, and then like being able to meet you in person today, it's been amazing.
No, it's an honor, and to see young individuals like yourself with the dedication and drive to do great things, it gives me hope. Because sometimes I get very concerned about the youth and what's going on, but I appreciate what you're doing. I really do, and I'm always here. And I'm telling you, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. I'm barely scratched the surface. We'll have this conversation 5 years from now, and it will be even better. I may be interviewing you.
Thank you. I definitely look forward to it.
My pleasure, Ezekiel. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you.
So at the end of every podcast, would you like to give any shout outs before we close?
Yes. I like to, let's see. Well, I'm very pleased for Spocom and Launch Distribution for providing this environment for us to meet today. I'd like to also thank all the enthusiasts and your peers who are into automotive still. And really, if there's one thing I can say is we need more people involved in science and automotive sciences. We need that. We need more creativity. I'm a pure example of you can be an engineer and be cool, still get the hot chick, still make lots of money. You can do really good stuff. You know, we're not all like weird scientist geek guys. Engineers can actually be cool. So we need more cool people in engineering, both men and women, girls and guys. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
My
again.
pleasure. My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Cheers.